Rick, we were talking with the front office yesterday. One of the things that kept getting brought up was you guys' play style this year and how it might look different without Ty, the way he plays, how often he has the ball. What do you anticipate trying to do this year in terms of the style you guys have had that won you so many games in the past that was informed by him versus the team you actually have on the floor this year style-wise?
Yeah, there will be some adjustments. There will be some adjustments as we start and keep moving forward. Ty is such a unusually important player to us. On the one hand, on the other hand, our core principles we want to keep the same. I mean, most of it begins with hard play and fast hard play, and so we'll make the adjustments we need to make, but we've got to be excited about the opportunity that some guys have in his stead this year, and it'll be a lot of work, but it'll be great.
Keeping along the lines of guys getting some opportunities. Obviously, we've talked a lot about Ben Mathurin in the past and how he could sometimes be asked to play two different styles. One that sort of most naturally fits the way you guys want to play, and also his sort of ability to score in isolation or go get a bucket. I mean, how does this situation complicate and or just generally just I don't know if alter is development in a word, but how does it change, I guess, that challenge of trying to get across how you wanted to play big picture for how this team wants to win a championship, but also how he might need to play on a given night to win you a game?
We just need him to run hard, shoot open shots that are there, and make simple reads offensively. Defensively, the challenges might be greater defensively. There's a very good chance that he'll be asked to guard the ball in a lot of situations. And so, I think we got to be careful about just focusing on offense and all that kind of stuff. Our game is played best when it's fast and simple.
I think you mentioned, in a podcast talking about the importance of protecting Andrew Nembhard. You just mentioned the possibility of Ben guarding the ball. What all do you think goes into that? I mean, what are some things that you have to keep in mind with Andrew when you're asking him? Obviously, he's still, I'm sure, going to have an important defensive assignment. What do you have to keep in mind now that he's going to be a lead point guard and as important as he is defensively?
Yeah, I mean, with Ty out, we lose. This is assuming that the lineup is as projected with Mathurin at 2 and Aaron at 3. There's no second primary ball handler. Pascal would be the other primary ball handler with that group. So instead of 3, including Pascal, now there's 2, and so a lot more playmaking responsibility on Andrew. And then, he always has a lot of defensive responsibility. And then, look, ultimately it's probably going to be the minutes. So, we can't play the guy into oblivion. And so, there's opportunity on this roster for some other people to play point guard minutes.
What are you thinking going in as far as the center position is concerned? I know it's generally by committee, but what are you, not just about who starts, but I mean, what are you looking for in terms of how you determine a rotation, who fits with what other combinations? What all are you trying to learn about the center position in this camp?
Yeah, we have 4 guys that really are very, very good, and they all bring something different. A lot of this, we just got to play it out in training camp and the preseason games and see what's what. I don't have any preconceived notions as to who's going to start. Isaiah Jackson's been working with that group more of the time in the pickup games, et cetera. Huff's ability to shoot the ball and block shots, but particularly his ability to space is going to be something that's going to be an important ingredient to any offense. And then, Tony Bradley he's just a really sound, solid, fundamental player that plays a simple but very effective game. And, James Wiseman is fully healthy. He was one of the guys that in our conditioning tests actually was one of the last guys to drop out And so, he's a 7'1" guy that can really run and has a big presence around the basket. So a lot of exciting possibilities.
What did you like about DeLon Wright? Obviously, you got to see him a little bit in the in Eastern Conference Finals last year against the Knicks. How do you feel like he fits into this group? Certainly, I imagine it was really important to you to get a third ball handler to at least bring into camp.
Yeah, DeLon's a good NBA player. He played for us in Dallas. He's had good stints in a lot of places. This is an opportunity for him. Monte Morris ended up unable to come to camp because of a leg injury, and so this was kind of a last-second ad. DeLon happened to be available. I thought he played well for New York last year. We played him in the Eastern Conference Finals, and so there's an opportunity there for him. He's been here for a couple days. I worked him out yesterday. Seems to be in a good place physically and mentally, and so I think our style suits his abilities quite well.
What do you need to see from Jarace Walker for you to earn more rotation?
Well, I think it's important to note that Jarace played over 15 minutes a game last year. He played a lot of minutes. Ben Mathurin played over 2,000 minutes. I mean, these two guys are brought up a lot in conversations about development, minutes, this, that, and the other. If there's one thing as an organization that maybe I'm most proud of, is that we have been able over the last 2 years not only to win in the playoffs, but we've been able to develop players while doing that. Jarace played a pretty significant role in with his minutes in a couple of those playoff series, and then the New York series, the injury that he sustained in Game 6 prevented him from being in the finals, and he would have been a guy in the finals that could have been a difference maker for us with his versatility and all the different things that he can do. At the beginning and end of it, guys that are drafted high, face sort of the expectation of stats and scoring numbers and stuff like that. I mean, our team really, the way we play and our style, and we're in the state of Indiana where the sacred purity of the game is like so important. It's none of that. It's how hard are you playing? How consistent is your motor? How unselfish are you? And can you sustain a hard, fast pace offensively and full court defense defensively? So, Jarace can do all those things. It took him a while to recover from the ankle this summer, but once he did, we encouraged him to get in the best shape of his life. I think he's there, and so this is an exciting time for him.
What are you hoping to see or expecting to see from Johnny Furphy this year?
I love Furphy. I mean, the guy plays balls out, fast, hard. He's one of our best cutters, one of our best rebounders, crashers. He's grown. He's gotten stronger. You guys saw the highlights from the summer league. He's an aggressive guy. And so this year, we're going to need that kind of defiant attitude with all of our guys and how they compete. And he and Shepard are two guys. They're just run through a wall guys. I mean, they just go hard, and they're going to be very important for us.
Hey, coach, French journalist.
Ça va?
Ça va et vous?
Yeah.
We've seen a decline in the number of female assistants in the NBA, but an increase in head coach position in the NCAA and the WNBA. What can you say about this trend?
An increase in what?
In head coach position of female head coach in the W and in NCAA, and a decline of female assistants in the NBA. What can you say?
We have two female assistants.
That's why I'm asking.
Jenny Busik's on the front of the bench. She's a defensive coordinator, and she is changing the game. And we have Lauren James as part of our basketball analytics staff who sits behind the bench, holds the iPad, and so we're great believers in the ability of women to be effective and very successful in the NBA. I can't speak so much for the rest of the league and what they're doing, but I know that for us, Jenny and Lauren are very important. One other thing I just want to announce to you guys, on the 17th, we play at San Antonio. That's our last exhibition game, last preseason game. I will not be at that game. I'll be at my daughter Abby's parents' formal for Kappa Kappa Gamma. And so Lloyd Pierce will coach that game, and the staff will take it. But I will just miss that one day.
Another question. Fever coach Stephanie White mentioned that you often text each other after games, maybe.
Not during. No.
Why is it important for you to share your knowledge, your experience, and how is it important for you to support the Fever?
It's not to share knowledge. I mean, I'm a big fan of hers. I'm learning a lot watching her coach. It's just encouragement and congratulations when they win, and that kind of stuff. It's just it's all encouraging stuff and just showing support and interest. And let's go Fever. Game 5 tomorrow night, man. Anything can happen.
Rick, I know a lot of questions obviously about the players, but for you personally, what's your level of just enthusiasm, excitement to coach this group of guys this year?
Yeah, it's always high. We have such good people, and Kevin and Chad just have done such a great job of bringing in the kind of character guys that people in the state of Indiana and the city of Indianapolis can embrace and relate to. And so, it's always exciting. We had a meeting last night. I talked to the team. I had looked back at my notes from 2021 when I first got here, when I first addressed the team, and I talked about I read these things to the guys last night. There were two things that were high on the list, and one was that we wanted to make the Pacers relevant again, with how we played, how we competed, all those kinds of things. Player empowerment, a style that our fans could relate to, and then Indiana values. Hard, family-oriented, values, hard play, unselfish play, and the sacred purity of the game. And 4 years later, we've made great strides. At this point, we only have one player remaining that was at that first meeting. And so it speaks to the dynamic change that is a constant in this game, and that we all need to be ready to pivot on a moment's notice. But that dynamic element makes all of us more excited than ever.
Then what excites you about this upcoming season, the opportunity you'll have to start to begin the year in the year?
Just going out there and having a lot of fun, just being consistent. It's pretty much what I'm looking for, just to be in a lineup and, start the game, finish games and stuff like that.
Have you changed anything about your approach to the year knowing that? What did you kind of focus on this summer when it comes to your improvements, especially because we keep hearing people talk about your fit within the system, quick decision-making, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just about, improving on the things that I know I need to improve on, watch a lot of film and just being in the gym. I know exactly what I have to work on, and I did that and more. So I feel like I'm more than ready for the season.
Do you know if you or your agency have any contract extension talks with the team this summer?
Sorry?
Do you know if you or your agency have any contract extension talks with the team this summer?
I leave that stuff to my agency, man. I just focus on basketball.
Just talking about the stuff you need to get better at. I mean, where do you feel like you've seen progress in terms of quick decision making? I mean, like, how do you get used to that when you're working on that in the off season? Where do you feel like you've improved as far as that's concerned?
I mean, I think it's pretty easy when you get to, like I said, watch film and just know exactly what you have to work on. And I mean, I spoke with the coaches a lot during the off season, and knowing how to improve was definitely the main point of emphasis. And I feel like I was able to do that. And like I said, I feel like I'm ready, man. I just know that I've worked really hard, even if it was a short off season, and I'm just excited for what's coming.
Rich just talked about the importance of you just making quick, smart reads, with the ball in your hand. Where do you feel like you're improving, or what are you working on as far as just your reads are concerned, or not trying to drive into crowds, but giving yourself an opportunity to get the ball to the rim?
Well, just knowing who I play with and making the simple play. That's pretty much the only thing I have to do in order to make better reads and better decisions.
Rick said there's a good possibility you're going to have to guard the ball a lot, obviously, just to take a little bit of pressure off Drew defensively if he's going to be the lead ball handler. You're doing a lot of that, obviously, in the playoffs. Last year coming off the bench, defending a lot of guys, picking up full court. How important is that for you? Where do you feel like you've made strides defensively, especially when it comes to guarding the ball?
I feel like I've made a lot of strides defensively. A lot more during the end of the season, and I feel like by the playoffs I was ready. So I don't think it's just anything new to me. It just allows me to showcase my talent defensively as well. I feel like I've worked on that a lot this summer, and I feel like it's just a great gift that I have that I need everybody to see.
Do you kind of enjoy that part more if you get to pick up somebody, when they get the ball in the backcourt? I mean, does that kind of get you more engaged than sort of just sitting back and sort of playing team defense while somebody else is guarding the ball? Does it get you more locked in when you're
for sure, 100%. Especially, when you guard the best players, you want to go out there and make sure that you get to make it tough for them. And I feel like that just my competitive aspect of the game definitely helps me. When I guard the ball full court, and then we get to set our defense.
With last year being your first real playoff experiences, did you learn anything about yourself and your game that maybe can help you take it to another level this season?
For sure. That's a great question. I just was able to get into the games, and sometimes I didn't know when I was going to get in the game. So, but I was just so excited, and I felt like I was able to unlock a level of focus. Just to remain focused in the game. Just going out there, and whether I play 35 minutes or 17 minutes or 6 minutes, I just go out there and give my all. So I feel like that's one part of the playoff experience I really got to unlock, just to go out there and just be relentless.
Salut Ben, journaliste français. Si on revient sur les finales l'an dernier, 4 Canadiens sur le terrain, toi et Lou qui avez presque grandi ensemble, à quel point c'était important pour toi?
C'était bien d'avoir moi et Lou qu'on puisse pouvoir jouer durant la finale. C'est quelque chose que non seulement moi et la ville de Montréal, on va pouvoir apprécier pour les prochaines années et même dans plusieurs années. Alors c'est quelque chose qui était vraiment bien pour moi et lui, pour nos familles, pour nos amis et la communauté de Montréal.
J'en ai une autre. Sans Tyrese, tu vas avoir beaucoup de création, tu l'as dit en anglais, mais si tu peux le dire en français, comment tu appréhendes ça, cet aspect ball handling?
Bon, c'est quelque chose que je connais, c'est quelque chose que je suis habitué de faire. C'est quelque chose que j'aurai l'opportunité de pouvoir montrer au monde, que je puisse avoir le ballon plus dans mes mains, et de pouvoir avoir l'opportunité et de ne pas laisser l'opportunité partir.
Drew, you've obviously played point guard so much in your life, so the role you're coming into this year isn't new, but preparing to do it for an entire season, knowing it's going to be there for you, how does that change the way you approach what you're going to do going into a season, if any?
Yeah, it changes the whole perception of the game for me. Bringing the ball up is a whole different way of looking at the game instead of running off the ball. But adjustments that people will help me with, it's not going to be just me watching the game and understanding how to get better. A lot of people are going to be helping me kind of go through this change for sure.
I think the front office told us that you organized everybody for that Toronto trip for the guards. Is that correct? How important do you view leadership as part of your responsibilities this year if you're going to be the primary caretaker for a team?
Yeah, I think ever since I've gotten here, just trying to grow that part of my game and just find my voice, as well as just insert things when I can. But I think I've always tried to just lead by example and be super competitive on the court and let that kind of set the tone for the group.
Just on that note, is it easier to find your voice when you guys have won as much as you have? I guess when do you feel like you go in having a lot more to say because of what you guys have accomplished? Is it easier to tell people what to do when you guys have been to the finals?
I think it's easier to tell people what you do when you've gained the respect. I've tried to come here and put my head down and work, and I think guys have gravitated towards the way I play the game, and I think it's easier to give guys what you want to tell them when you're putting in the work yourself.
What Rick mentioned the idea of it being important to he's used the word protect you, I guess. I mean, what do you have to think of going into this in terms of making sure you can stay on the court, not getting in foul trouble? You know, obviously what you do defensively can create a lot of wear and tear. I mean, how are you viewing the balance of your responsibilities offensively and defensively and the things you got to just take care of to make sure you're playing at 100%, you're on the court and you're not getting in foul trouble?
Yeah, I think ever since I've gotten into the league, every year I've tried to improve my routine off the court in terms of staying ready physically and mentally to compete in these games. So I think just want to be super diligent with that type of thing. And then fouls wise, I don't want to be too tentative with it. I want to just play the game, compete, and understand that times to pick my spots.
How do you think what do you want to see about this team sort of continue in terms of the style of play you guys have had? What's important to kind of set as sort of bedrock for, how you guys play, and in what ways do you think you guys have to adapt and change with Tyrese being out?
Yeah, it's a lot of the same guys, but a lot of new roles. So we got to understand how we can kind of figure out those roles and exceed to the best we can in those spots. But we've talked about how our standards are our standard, and we want to. It starts with being competitive and being together as a group, and we just want to let that kind of continue throughout the year with whoever's out in the court.
With Tyrese not playing, obviously, how much are you in communication with him, just kind of picking his brain as you're coming into this season, and what is that kind of communication like between you two, trying not to overlap too much with his rehab, but also trying to pick his brain on what's to expect coming forward?
Yeah, no, he's got a great mind for the game, so he's someone I've always been able to pick his brain since I've gotten here, and he's someone who's always supported me, so that's going to just happen naturally. When I see things, he's a guy who I respect, and I like to kind of bounce things off of. Yeah.
Last year, French journalist. Last year featured 9 international players, including 4 Canadians. How does that internationalization of the game mean to you, and having a role model for kids back home?
Yeah, no, it's cool because the game has grown a lot in Canada since I was super young, and now since I've been in the league, there's a lot more players. It's just more popular, especially in Toronto. So it's nice to see. I definitely was a kid who was looking up to a lot of players growing up and wanted to be like them. So it's nice to see that me being in that role now and trying to do the same for the next generation. So.
You guys have gone to Pascal's place 2 years in a row now. What was it like this year after the run you had, and what kind of message did he have for you guys about what it will take for this year to be successful again?
Yeah, it was nice to just get back in with the guys and create that bond again. It was just a nice little week of pickup, kind of getting back into it. But the message was similar to last year. You want to stay together, want to compete, want to be who we are, and play our brand of basketball no matter who's out there.
Without Tyrese, what do you think Pascal can do for you guys offensively?
I think he could do similar to what he's been doing. He's a guy we can lean on to play make, as well as he's been a sneaky good defensive player for us the last couple of years. So just being himself. I don't think he has to go crazy out of the box this year.
Who's impressed you the most out of the new guys, the rookies, the new guys you see in camp so far?
We haven't started camp yet, really. So we just did a couple little practices. Just throw a shout out to somebody.
I'll ask you a different one. So with this being such a short off season, obviously the shortest it can be for the NBA, do you feel it's rushed at all, or do you feel like I'm such a basketball lifer that I just can't wait to get back out there and get going?
Yeah, I think a lot of us are just super excited to have another season and compete and go back out there. It was short, but I felt like I had enough time to rejuvenate and recharge. So I'm very excited to step on the court in front of fans and compete and do what I've been doing.
A lot of the wings in Charleston. Did you organize that trip? Just give it
Yeah, we did, man. That was fun. Yeah.
What inspired you to want to do that?
It's cool just making sure all the guys stick together, especially the way, last season ended. Make sure we keep our camaraderie and going into this year, picking up like nothing left off.
How did this offseason feel for you after the way last season ended?
Quick. Quick, but it was cool. Had some time to reflect, just, appreciate how far we came, appreciate what we accomplished, and, learn from everything.
Without Ty and then Drew and Ben now starting with you guys, how do you feel like the dynamics of the way you guys play in the offense of that group will be different this year?
We're going to play to a little bit of a different pace. We're going to play to Andrew's pace, but, our schemes and everything remains the same. Still the same team, still got the same motivations, same scheme, same system. So it's really just doing things slightly differently, but it'll all be the same.
How do you expect things to change with the losing Tyrese's gravity, basically? And it's important, I guess, for you individually to be prepared to create more off the bounce. Is that something you've?
Yeah, everybody's gonna have to do a little bit more, but it's gonna be a little bit more by committee. Nobody's gonna have to step too far outside of, who they are or their range, and everybody's gonna have to do a little bit more and be a little bit better. Everybody's got a little bit of an opportunity to step up, but at the same time, we're still gonna do it as a unit and as 5 guys on the floor at one time.
What do you think that means for how you have to operate? I mean, obviously you've had to, you found a good role in this thing. Do you think something changes for you or not?
A little bit, I'm going to have to, like I said, I'm going to have to learn how to play to Andrew's pace a little bit more. I've been playing at Tyrese's for the last 3 years, and, they're not the same player, but they still play with it. They still played within the same system. So it's going to be a lot of similarities, but, there'll be little nuances that are just going to be a little bit different.
Do want to ask you about your tech founding here? What
my guy?
How, I got a sense of it from the press release, but how did that all come about? I guess Mac was kind of Mac's idea. What made you think this is something I want to get involved in and invest in, and what's that side how's that side project?
So we've been working on it for like 2 years, and it's been a pretty cool process. Learning the business side of things and building a tech company. We've had some up and downs already, and 2 years out from where we sat in our room and just kind of came up with the idea to really bring it to fruition and bring other NBA guys on the project and getting a lot of positive feedback. It's pretty cool to see, and I'm excited to launch it in a couple weeks and, see how it does.
How far has it spread so far in terms of who have you guys gotten as far as getting guys to create?
Guys are great. I mean, right now we got Darius Garland and Peyton Pritchard committed. I got a couple guys on our team that we're talking to trying to get them committed, but it's just cool. I think it's going to really reshape the social media aspect and a lot of the way athletes can be content creators and influencers. I think it's just empowering athletes and letting us kind of lead the charge on our own lives, monetize our brands, understand that we have so much influence and so much power and people believe in us, and just taking full advantage of that.
You've mentioned a couple times adjusting to Andrew's pace. How is his pace different than Tyrese's, and what will that require you to do?
Andrew sometimes takes like an extra dribble. He's a real downhill player. He gets to the basket, gets to the paint a little bit more than Tyrese. And so it's just finding ways to be more open and available for him and make his life easier.
Hey, Aaron, French journalist. I wonder what part of the game you worked on this off-season to be ready for next season.
Ball handling, being able to get into the paint, play off 2 feet, make better decisions, create better opportunities for others. We're also looking for better opportunities for myself.
Now that some time has passed, have you really been able to really reflect on just how special the season was, the excitement of the city, and also specifically for you, the Game 1 performance at the Garden? Have you been able to really reflect on how special it was?
Yeah. I spent time, especially in as soon as the season ended, probably once a day, just kind of reminiscing on the journey and how far we came and what we accomplished. And but I've kind of, you got to turn the page at some point and understand that, this is a brand new season, brand new opportunity. And, per usual, a lot of people have written us off because of Tyrese. But, we're used to proving people wrong and shocking people. So it's going to be nothing new this year.
Anything standing out from the pickup games in terms of somebody surprising you or doing anything different than they were before?
I think everybody took a leap. Everybody got better. Everybody did what they're supposed to do, and that's work on their craft in the summertime. There's some guys who really got to take a step up, and there are other guys who are, just trying to figure it out. But, I think everybody did what they're supposed to do, and everybody looks great.
Pretty good. Am I supposed to do this again? Yes. No. Okay. That was my good foot. So, how you feeling? How's the rehab coming? Going well. It's coming along. I feel like I'm right on cue where I'm supposed to be at this point. Moving around, doing everything. So just taking it a day at a time. It's a monotonous thing of every day feels like you're doing the same thing over and over. And, but I feel like I'm in a good place right now.
Saw a lot of Tatum's posts early in his recovery. It was very hard for him mentally. Was it challenging for you? How did you kind of get through those early days?
Yeah, of course. This summer's been, I don't want to say awful, because I have a good life and, I'm in a good position in life, but it's just been a drag, just trying to keep myself busy, keep my mental busy as best I can, because it's been hard. It's been hard. I mean, the season I got hurt in Game 7. Everybody left Indy the next day. I had surgery in New York the next day. So by the time I got back, everybody was gone. So, I didn't get to see any of my teammates really or hang out with anybody. So I've really just been in my house, just me and my fiance and my family. So it's been hard, but I've just been trying to keep myself busy with, I've had a lot of people come and visit me over the last couple of months, which has been amazing, and trying to keep myself busy, go to Fever games, just do stuff around town as best I can. But yeah, summer's been a drag, so it's been nice to have the guys back and have that banter and just be able to hang out with them. So definitely thankful for the village around me.
Not being able to play this season, what do you hope you can get out of it? Whether that's something you can observe, something you can gain from being around this team. Is there anything you've thought about that you hope to still get out of it?
Well, I think whenever you don't get to play, you get a new perspective on things. I think there's always time to learn and grow, and I think that for me this year, not being able to play, I feel like I'm going to be able to see the game in a different way, potentially see it more from a coaching perspective where I don't always see eye to eye with with our coaching staff and what they're seeing. So I look forward to being able to digest the game without playing, for a full year. I think that's going to be different for me, but I think being able to still be in the locker room with the guys and hear what they're seeing, but also be able to be sitting there with the coaches on the bench and hear what they're seeing and kind of be the bridge between that. So I look forward to it. I think it's going to be an exciting year for our group. We got a lot of different guys coming into new roles and a lot of different guys growing in different areas. So definitely look forward to the year, what the year is going to look like.
I guess, Ty, to stay on that, what is your plan as far as being in the locker room, all that kind of stuff? I mean, do you plan on making all the road trips? Like, how is this going to work in with your continued rehab, and do you have a plan for how that's going to go so far?
I wouldn't say there's necessarily a plan right now. I would say it just goes off of, what's going on that day. I think as the year goes on and my rehab and physical treatment, my physical condition get better, if they're on like a one-game trip or something, it might be better for me to stay here and just work out here. But I plan on traveling as much as I can. Plan on going to the preseason games on the road. I think just trying to keep a sense of normalcy as much as I can. There's going to be times where I don't want to leave the house. There's going to be times where I need to get out of the house. And I think that our organization has done a great job of continued conversation with me and allowing me that freedom mentally and allowing me to really just read off of how I feel and what's going on. So I feel like it'll just be a read and react as the year goes on, but I want to be there as much as I can. But definitely just reading how my body's feeling and, whether it's a necessary trip to be making.
You talked about just how nice it is to have the guys coming back, I guess. You talked about the season and everybody moves on. At least, at that point, there's no games being played without you. I guess how are you sort of preparing yourself for that mentally? Is that starting to hit a little bit that the guys are coming back and they're doing stuff that you don't get to be a part of this time?
Yeah, I think so. But I try to be as involved as I can. You know what I mean? I get here earlier than usual so I can finish all my work, so I can be there for all the on-court stuff and walk around as much as I can. I can't really rebound, but I can pass. So just trying to figure out how I can fit in and do different things. I want to still feel involved and still feel like I don't want guys to feel like I'm not there, not part of the team. My mom made a joke the other day that because they took a disabled player exception that I'm not part of the team anymore. So just trying to stay involved as much as I can is important for me.
You talked a little about the coaching part. What do you feel like? I know this is a Rick question we already asked him, but I'm still interested in your thoughts of it. Like, how do you think this team has to sort of maintain the standards that it's done or play the way it has, and how do you think it's going to need to adapt with you not being able to play?
Well, the standard is the standard. We have created a culture here that is special in this league, and it's something that I really care about. When I got traded here, the only guy that's still here from that group is TJ. And there wasn't much of a culture here. Coach Rick and the staff were helping build that. And I think we've done a great job, and that's not changing. So just because I'm not playing, I'm still going to play fast, still going to pick up full court, play with the infectious joy and energy that we always do. That doesn't change, and the standard is always going to be the standard. So guys know that. They understand that. But I look forward to seeing a lot of different guys take on different roles. I think that, Jarace and Ben are two guys that are going to have an increased role. Drew is going to have more on-ball responsibilities. So I look forward to seeing him balance, doing more on the offensive end and still being who he is defensively. Now it's going to be hard to be guarding the best player every night and take, handling majority of on-ball responsibilities. So I see his defensive responsibilities maybe decreasing a little bit, but because of who he is, I don't see it being anything drastic, So I look forward to everybody's role changing a little bit. Obviously, change with our big, and so having Isaiah is going to take on a new role. J. Huff have a new role from what he had last year. James Wiseman, all these guys are going to be on new roles. So I'm definitely excited to see everybody grow, and I think baptism by fire is sometimes the most necessary and the best thing for us as NBA players. So definitely look forward to seeing all the guys take on new roles.
As you've been watching some of these pickup games, is there anybody that's been standing out to you in terms of like growth from last year to this year?
Well, I think a lot of different guys have gotten better in so many different areas. I think if I was to single out a single guy, I would say Johnny Furphy has looked really good. I thought to see him in Summer League, he looked really good. And then I think he's just been a gym rat, since then. He went back to Australia right after Summer League, and he's been back for a while. He's one of the first guys back with me. And that's just who Furphy is. He lives in the weight room, lives in the gym. So it's great to see him, doing what he's doing and kind of growing into his own as an NBA player. And I look forward to, seeing what year 2 looks like for him.
Tyrese, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I know your teammates, they have the utmost respect for you, and I know what happened in OKC. They were all devastated. That being said, what is your message to these guys on this team that know they don't have their leader out there with them this year? Talk me through that, and just like, what are you saying to the guys to encourage them to get it done this year?
Yeah, I think just like what I just kind of said, the standard is the standard. It doesn't matter if I suit up or if I don't. We've created a culture here that matters to me and matters to a lot of people as Indiana fans and matters to every guy in that locker room. And so I think when you have something special like that, you have to cherish that and take care of that. And so the fact that I'm not playing doesn't change anything. Guys are still expected to show up to work, put in the work, do all the same things. And with me not playing, obviously I can't necessarily control what's going on the court a ton, but I can control the culture that's being set here and what the standard is and making sure that that's maintained. So just being able to continuously use my voice. I think it's going to be interesting without me playing. I think Pascal and me are kind of the vocal guys on this team. And, with me being out, Drew and Aaron and TJ and Obi are kind of having to step into that leader role a little bit more. And all those guys aren't necessarily the most vocal guys. And that's something that me and Drew talk about a lot because you can go a long time, and I've been telling people, like, Drew's been posting his voice on social media. I'm sure there's a lot of people who've never heard his voice before. So he leads in a different way, and that's okay. And I think when we're on the floor, he does a great job of using his voice. He has to, because you can't be an elite defender and do what he does on a nightly basis without using his voice as much as he does. So I think that for him, me and him have talked a lot about, for him, he's going to have to increase that a little bit more, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be there to help him get his point across and do what he can. But I think he'll do a great job of that. And I look forward to seeing him grow in that role and look forward to seeing a lot of different guys step up in different ways.
Tyrese, as you look back, a few months ago, what was that run like for you to see how the city responded, the fans responded? As you look back now, what was that like?
Yeah. I haven't taken a ton of time to reflect, honestly. It's been hard for me to, look back, watch old games from the playoffs. To be honest, I haven't watched a single playoff game since Game 7. It's been tough. I think that as time has went on and I've been able to go around the city more and move around and go places, there's been a lot of people who have, come up to me and shown love for what we did this past year. And you can just feel the love and the excitement in our city. And I think I've seen that through my shoe release and through just had Haliburton a couple of days ago, and there were so many fans there, and just the love that I've gotten, that I've received personally from this city has been second to none. And you're seeing that now with the Colts having so much success. The Fever are a game away from going to the finals, right? And so it's been really cool to see what's happening in Indiana right now, just in sports in general. I mean, Indiana football is balling. Purdue basketball is looking to be good this year. I think that it's just a special time for Indiana sports, and I would like to think that we were kind of the catalyst for that. But, I mean, maybe that's not – I mean, Purdue's basketball was pretty good last year. The Fever were exciting last year. We were exciting the year before. So I think that it's just an exciting time to be an Indiana sports fan. And what we did was very special, and it's something that I'll cherish for a long time. I don't think that I'm quite yet prepared to go back and watch games just because it's hard for me because of, the way it ended and all those things. But, it's something I think about a lot and something that I'll cherish for a long time. But I look forward to creating many more memories that, hopefully overtake that in the future. But I know it'll be hard because that was something very special. And it's not something that I want to, forget necessarily. Not at all. I want to remember that for the rest of my life because that was the most fun I've ever had playing basketball. And we did some very historic things. And but I think that the goal for me is to create many more memories for Indiana sports fans and myself personally, that surpass this. So, if that answers your question.
Pascal, une petite question en français. Tu es champion NBA, Most Improved Player, 3 fois All-Star, MVP finale de conférence. C'est quoi les étapes futures pour toi?
Oui, il y a encore beaucoup plus d'étapes. Pour moi, c'est à la fin continuer à me développer. Et bon, l'année passée, on n'a pas pu atteindre le goal qu'on avait, l'objectif. Et je pense que cette année, c'est ça, c'est ça qu'on a en tête. Continuer à me développer et aussi gagner en équipe. Et pour moi, je pense que l'ultime victoire, c'est de gagner le championnat. Tu vois. Donc, c'est ça l'objectif pour moi. Et bon, c'est tout.
Et une petite question, je sais que tu es fan de foot. Est-ce que tu as un avis sur le Ballon d'Or?
Oui, Ballon d'Or, ouais. Ballon d'Or, je pense très mérité. Le PSG, une saison énorme. Je pense que c'est aussi un peu à cause de nous, parce que cette année, on est allé les visiter à Paris. Mais non, ils ont été énormes. Ousmane, saison, je veux dire, parfaite. Tu vois, gagner tout. Les 3, la Champions League, le championnat, la coupe, tout ça. Donc, il mérite. Et bon, je suis un fan du Real Madrid, mais bon, je pense que cette année-là, le PSG a tout gagné. Ils ont tout fait. Donc, Ousmane, mérité. Yeah. Get that PSG. Shout out.
You've been a number one option on teams before, but going into the season knowing it's going to happen, does that change your mental approach or basketball approach at all? And how do you see that playing out with this team?
Yeah. I think that's a word that's been thrown around a lot. I feel like I've heard that so many times, and I think that's I don't know. It's just people just talk about it, and it keeps spreading around. That's not the way I look at it. I think for us, last year, and the way we play as a team, it's always been about team. It's never been about one person, and I think this year it's not going to be different. We all gotta have to do it collectively, and I was telling the guys it's not going to take one person to replace Ty. It's not we're gonna all have to do it collectively, and that's the way we got to think about it. I think that mentality of the number one option and this is it's kind of played out. I think. If you look at it around, you got to be a team to be able to win. You can be the number one guy all you want. If your team don't win, it doesn't matter. And most of the time you can't win alone. You have to have a collective, a group, and you got to do it together. So that's the way I'm approaching it. I'm excited though about the continue to step up as a leader. Continue to make sure that I lead by example. And we had a lot of conversation with Coach just about setting the precedent and again for us as a team we've set the standard. We can't go under the standards that we set now. So we gotta go out there and do it every single night, and I gotta be a leader out there in terms of that. I think that's what I care most about. going out there doing the right things and playing together as a team.
I did want to ask about that leadership stuff. You brought everybody down to Orlando again. How different did you get the sense it was this year after the finals run, and what was important messaging for you to say in this instance?
Yeah. No, I thought it was awesome. Like, I think the guys were excited to be there. And it's just a special feeling, like being able to have everyone come to your house and able to work out together, like go out to dinner, like just hang out. And I think the guys, like, having done that already, like they were a little bit excited about it. And I think for me what's rewarding is just like just the guys like appreciating it and again just showing them though, like that I'm all committed. I want this team to succeed. I want to make this work. So it was a good time, great time, and I always love those moments, being able to have everyone together.
No, you said it's not a lot different being the first option, but I guess Rick was talking about the likelihood of you kind of being a secondary ball handler, basically with Drew, as far as especially on that first unit. They're used to having Ty and Drew together. Obviously, that changes things. How does that change the way you might have to operate, and more likelihood you'll have to either bring the ball up or initiate offense?
Yeah.
And how are you looking at that?
Yeah, no, I think I've done that in the past. And I think it's just watching my last 2 years, it's easy to just be like, oh yeah, like this, like you don't really see some of the other things that I've done before. And I feel like, one of the funniest questions, like coach asked me, he was like, oh, we had a triple-double before, and it was like, yeah, I've had multiples, so like I can do that too. And I think is what I feel like makes me different, is the fact that I can adapt to every situation, and I've worked on every like facet of my game, and I think that's something that I can definitely do, and I've done in the past. So I'm definitely comfortable with that, and I think again with Ty out, we're gonna have to have other people, like taking some of the toll in terms of like ball handling and making sure that we get everyone to places that we want to get to.
Just how as a whole do you see this offense functioning differently? Especially, you lose a lot of gravity when you lose Tyrese. I mean, like, what does this team have to be, I guess, more prepared for in terms of how it's going to operate full court and half court offense?
Yeah, no, I think we just got to continue to be us. And I think one of the great things about like this team is that with the way we play is different. Like, it's not really concentrated on one person. Obviously, like Tyrese is a huge part of what we do as a team, just because of his vision and how he can just see the game and put us in position, play fast. Like he's special at that. But I think that like the foundation of our team is just about moving the ball, playing together, playing fast. And I think we can still do that. And I'm sure once the game slows down, there's going to be times where we're going to have to figure that out and get, people are going to grow into different roles and being in those positions at end of games and things like that. So, but I think in terms of just like the way we play, like I don't think it's going to change much. There's going to be some changes, and I'm sure you guys can ask coach about that. But I think like the fundamentals and just like the core of our team is still the same. So we should be able to do some of the same things.
All right, Pascal, hey, Tyrese was just in here talking about the adjustments for him, just kind of personally coming back and not playing and watching games unfold without him and all that. Just what have you seen? He's so infectious, his personality, he's so important in that way to this team. What have you seen from him since you got back to town, this new Tyrese we're going to see for the next year or so?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen Tyrese everywhere. I don't know. One of these guys has been all over the world. But Tyrese is like, that's, he's an important part of our team. And I think, he also want to continue to make sure that he's involved. And you don't want to, like just knowing that you're not going to play next year, like be kind of like out of the loop. I'm sure he wants to be involved. He wants to be part of it. He works every single day. I come to the gym. I see him. He's working and making sure that he gets right and get back on the court. And then I think off the court, just always trying to get us together and things like that. So he's super involved. And at the end of the day, he's still one of our leaders. So and he knows that. And I think he's been doing that well.
All right, TJ. Obviously, what. So much of you guys' success for the last couple of years has become because of your style of play, because you guys are doing a lot of things other people don't. What do you think is important for you guys to sort of maintain as bedrock, and what do you think you guys, in which ways do you think you have to adapt and change with Tyrese not being available?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Ty not being able to play this year is tough, and you can't replace a guy like that. But I think the thing that we need to focus on is that, we've established a culture, a style of play, and Rick has done a great job of that, and the standard is the standard. That, we obviously have to do things a little differently, without a all-star caliber point guard, but it's just everyone stepping up in a different role, but we're not going to change how we play.
You're like the third person who's quoted Tomlin today, by the way. So,
well, I'm a Pittsburgh
there you
Steelers fan,
go.
so it's quite easy.
What changes in terms of the gravity with Tyrese? I guess how does that change the way you guys can operate offensively when you take somebody who's that good at drawing two bodies? How does that kind of have a trickle-down effect, I guess?
Yeah,
what does that mean for you guys?
I don't think, in terms of style of play and the pace, it doesn't change, but the gravity that an all-star caliber point guard brings and an all-NBA caliber point guard brings you can't replace it. So I think as, our coaching staff and as players, we got to find ways to create advantages and get in the paint and get our ball movement going.
Something Ty mentioned when talking about you, and he also mentioned Drew and Pascal, is the leadership role you guys will have to step into without him, and James is not around now. What kind of onus do you put on yourself to do something like that with this specific team?
Yeah, I've never been a guy to use my voice too much. I've been one of those people to kind of lead by example, but when I see something, I'll say it. But I think, James and Tyrese were those constant voices, and I think not only myself but others who have been doing this a little bit have to step up and have more of a voice, not just when they see something.
What do you think will be important for Pascal, especially from a basketball perspective, in that new environment on the court that you just described?
For Pascal?
Yeah.
He's an amazing leader already. He's had us in Orlando these last 2 years. Kind of creating that camaraderie already. But you can already see him using his voice more and doing more in every aspect, both on and off the court.
Just to keep going on Pascal, Rick talked about him as a secondary ball handler. How important and helpful is that? Basically, you guys have been able to play with two guys on the court, whether it was you and Ty, you and Drew and Ty. How important is it to have a guy helpful with everything is to have a guy who's 6'8" who can also be a secondary ball handler?
Yeah, when you have a guy like that, then that can bring the ball up the floor, create offense, and pretty much do everything. I think it eases, everyone. It takes, weight off a lot of people's shoulders, especially, Drew, who's going to be playing more minutes than he usually does, probably at point guard and shooting guard. But the ability to have P bring the ball up the floor, it throws a wrinkle in there that, we can really use.
Hey, TJ. We saw you at the Fever game yesterday. How is it important to support them, and how is it like the bond that you share with the Fever?
Yeah, it's incredible. All the players in the Fever come and support us, especially in the playoffs, and the bond that, not only us and the Fever have, but the Colts as well. I don't think many cities are like that. I think it's a really cool thing that we have. Everyone supports everyone, and we show up to games and support other players. I think it's an incredible thing that we have here.
You have a message for Game 5 tomorrow?
Let's get a win.
I got the crew question, so if you want to. Go ahead. That's fine. Go ahead. All right. So the city, it's pretty obvious. They're big fans of yours. They've embraced you. We've seen you on these commercials that run over and over and over. How cool was it doing that commercial, and just how much does that make you feel like, hey, this city, they're embracing me, and it feels like home to you being here?
Obviously, it's my acting debut. It was a seamless transition, and it was fun. Shout out to crew; they're amazing people. But in terms of of the love this city shows me and my family. I mean, I could be up here forever. From day one, this city has embraced me, supported me, and it's only grown every year I've been here. This organization, this city, this state, the fans, I have a lot of love for. Truly, like, this place is incredible, and I'm so lucky to be able to play here in front of these fans and for this organization.
You talked a little bit about Drew earlier. What do you think changes for him? Because you obviously mentioned it's the idea of bringing the ball up, but also defending full court. Certainly that's the thing you do all the time. He's certainly got to do it in a starting role. What's kind of important for him to sort of keep in mind in terms of foul trouble, conditioning, all those kinds of things, in terms of making sure he's able to do that as much as possible, do both things?
Yeah, I mean, I think for Drew, with Ty being alongside of him, he was able to exert more energy guarding the other team's best player, but he's going to be our starting point guard this year. So I think we're going to have him and other guys step up to take the tough matchups defensively so Drew can play more minutes at the point guard role. But I know he's up for the challenge to do whatever this team needs. That's just who Drew is and who he's always been.
You guys played your final game like 3 months ago, shorter summer. How did that change the feeling of the mini camp in Orlando and the things you guys have done throughout the offseason?
Yeah, obviously, I think besides Pascal and I think Thomas Bryant, not many guys have played in the finals before. So to play to the very last possible day of the season and then have a mini camp, which felt like 3 weeks later, it's obviously a shortened off season, but we're happy to get back out there and because we felt a little incomplete getting all the way there and not being able to get the job done. So I think all of us want to get back out there and get back there and get over that hump.
Well, your teammates have talked about your personality bringing them together before, but Ty mentioned you as specifically a potential leader for this team, especially in his absence. Have you felt Tyrese did?
Damn.
I was going to ask if you have felt that is a responsibility for you this year, but maybe you haven't given the response.
I feel that now. I know I'm one of the older guys on the team, so I've been here for 3 years or going into my third year now. So, I know my role's changed a little bit. Some guys out, so other guys got to step up. We still got TJ, though, oldest guy in the league. He's going to be a great vet for this team. But, we got a lot of great guys around. I feel like everybody on this team is going to be a leader in their own way. So
You've played with so many different guys and different front court iterations in your time here. With the way that you guys' play style might change, how do you kind of think that you'll figure into that front court, and who do you feel like you'll play with more often and fit well with?
Yeah, I feel like we established a culture here where offensively and defensively, where we play a certain way. And I feel like everybody who was here last year bought into that. And I don't feel like anything's going to change other than the fact that we don't have Tyrese. And so we understand the type of game Tyrese brings for us. So, but we also still have Drew. We have other guys who's going to step up and still buy into the culture that we have here and continue what we started.
Continuing on that, what do you guys have to be prepared for that could change because of the gravity you lose with Tyrese? Obviously, he's a guy that draws two bodies often, and that makes it easier to move the ball. What do you guys have to be prepared for in terms of how things will change based on how you're defended because he won't be there?
Right. I mean, I feel like we just got to continue our pace of play and just sharing the ball. I felt like Ty was the start of all of that and making a contagious thing where we're all sharing the ball and wanting to see each other succeed, not just one person. And I feel like that's where our success came from last year, just everybody being involved and everybody having fun with each other playing out there. I feel like I said before, like we have a culture and we're going to try and stay in that culture and do everything the coaches is asking us to do. So,
How important is just the defensive end for continuing to set that
Yeah.
the tone and everything like that? Obviously, you guys all kind of got used to picking up full court, picking up your guy wherever he was. I mean, just what all has gone into just sort of maintaining that standard?
Yeah. Defensively, I think we're gonna be great. Like I said, we still got Drew, who's one, if not the best defender, guard defender. Like he's one of them. Like we have great defenders on this team. A lot of players been standing out in like pre-workouts and stuff, guarding the ball offensively. Like I feel like defensively we're gonna be good. It's offense too. We're gonna be good. We still got a great team, and I feel like we're gonna be very special this year.
Obi, the last couple of years, you have been working with Mike Weiner in your pregame warmups. What's going to be like not having him on the coaching staff this year?
Yeah, Mike's been an amazing guy, not only for me but for everybody. Like he was one of the first guys I got introduced to when I came here. Obviously, he was like my one-on-one coach. So I worked with him every single day, watched film with him. He was an amazing guy. Sad to see how everything went down, but like I'm glad I had the time that I had with him. He's taught me a lot, not only on the court but off the court. So I really appreciate from that. But I'll definitely stay in contact with him and still get his feedback on stuff. And yeah.
Chad Buchanan also mentioned the last couple of months he thought you played your best basketball here with this team. Did you notice anything different about your game that was just clicking for you?
Other than I just feel like my game is maturing. The game's starting to slow down. I'm not running around with my head cut off like a chicken. So I'm out there actually thinking the game and kind of moving at my own pace instead of getting sped up and stuff. I feel like other than that, I'm still playing my basketball, shooting, dunking, running the floor, doing the regular things. So.
Hi, Obi. French journalist. You were at the Paris game?
That's a penalty. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
So you were part of the NBA Paris game?
Yeah.
How did you enjoy this experience? I know
in Paris.
you played with Evan also in New York?
Yes, Evan's my guy. Evan's a great guy. I was in New York with him for 2 years, I think. So he's been amazing. Paris, I love Paris, though. I went there this summer, too, for vacay for the first time, and I loved it.
What's that about you?
What's what?
What's that about France to you?
What stands out?
Yeah.
The food. I love the food out there. Like, Paris was, like, the first spot that I went to overseas, and that was my, like, first time eating new food, and it was the best food I had, so, yeah.
Obi, from the limited amount you've been around teammates so far, has anybody stood out as far as taking another step forward?
Yeah. I think Jaywalk and Furphy was looking really good this summer. Got a couple workouts in with them, and they stood out. You could see that they're maturing, see that the game's starting to slow down a little bit for them, and they're just working harder. I feel like they worked extremely hard this summer to be where they're at now, and I can't wait for them to start these games.
Obi, when you play as late as June 22nd, it's a quick turnaround. Is there anything that changes from a preparation standpoint, physically, mentally, when you have less off-season?
Nah, it felt good having a less off season. You don't want to go too long without basketball. So the short summer was amazing. Hopefully we can get another short summer. But I mean, I don't feel like probably a couple guys took some days off, but I feel like we just got right to it. Like me and JJ, right after the season, literally that last game, we flew to Miami the next day, and we was there for 2 months working out every single day the day we got to Miami. Like I don't feel like we took days off because we knew we only have a month or two to get by before the season starts back up. So we just wanted to stay in shape, and we also love basketball. So it's not hard going into the gym getting up 100 shots or 200 shots. So.
Jay, where were you when you found out you got traded here, and what was your initial reaction at the time?
That's actually a pretty funny story. So my parents were with me at my in-laws' house. We were getting ready to go to dinner. My parents and my wife's parents had left to go get a table. My wife and I were waiting for my brother-in-law and his girlfriend. It's a roundabout story, but it's pretty funny. We were waiting for them, and we're like, let's hide in the pantry, make them think we left. So my wife and I are standing in the pantry, And then I get a phone call, and I'm like, oh, well, we probably need to take this. And, initial reaction is, oh, well, we have to move, which moving, as we all know, is not the most fun thing. But then I'm like, oh, going to Indiana. Like, having watched this team in the playoffs, it was incredible to watch. It felt very much like an honor thing around here. Like, we're gonna win or die trying, sort of thing. And that was really fun to watch and really exciting to know that I was about to be a part of that. So,
how do you anticipate your play style fitting with what this team does since you watched that playoff run?
I think it fits well. I think I think I can do what they want me to do. Try to fit in there, and I think like shooting, running the floor, catching lobs. I try to keep it simple. So.
I know you've been asked this probably a million times, so I could have looked up the answer. But where did the backwards dunks start? Why is that a thing that you continue to do?
I think I remember I did it some in high school. Probably started doing it more in college, and NBA. It's just kind of stuck around. I think there's times where it's practical. Like there's times where I jump and I just end up like to where I can't really look at the rim, and I just had to figure it out. Because if you come down with the ball when you're up in the air like that, it takes more time. But if you can figure out a way to just kind of know where the rim is, it makes your life a whole lot easier. The other part is it's way more fun. I grew up watching guys do just, crazy dunks all the time, and I always thought that was fun. Growing up, lowering the rim, playing with my friends, and just trying to do a bunch of creative dunks, I think was something that I really enjoyed doing as a kid, and I've always wanted to kind of maintain that, like, childlikeness, I suppose, of just enjoying basketball and enjoying dunking, because dunking is one of my favorite things to do. So,
with not only this opportunity, but also last season just being a part of the rotation, just how rewarding has this time been, especially how hard you had to work to stick, I guess, or all the two-way contracts and back and forth between the G League and whatnot. Just what's it been like just to have kind of more steady home at this point in the NBA?
It's been great. I'm really grateful for my time in the G League. I've met so many great friends that to this day I like to keep up with and see where they are and try to meet up with them when we can. And the G League is great. Like I honestly think the G League is, one of the best things for the NBA. And there's guys that it's good to spend time in the G League. And I think for me it was great to kind of have to progress through that, just to be sure that I'm grateful for where I am now. And I think it's been very rewarding. Even moving around, it's a good thing. It's all good. And the opportunity has all been good. So it's been exciting.
How used to that are you having to move your stuff? I was like, you said you have to move, but I mean, how many times have you guys already?
Eventually you get used to it. I've talked to guys who played with 11 teams in 11 years, and I can't really complain too much. And it's all for good reasons. Once you get there, you enjoy it. The move is just, it's always interesting. It's different. But we've lived in just about every region of the country at this point, it feels like, which is pretty cool to be able to say. So that's also exciting.
Heard you were pretty close to taking an opportunity in Europe before Memphis came about. I think it was Johnny Carpenter who was here now. Got a job there, and that's how it worked out. How close were you to going and playing in Europe before that opportunity came about?
Conversation, really. I mean, my wife and I, every year it feels like at Summer League, we're sitting down having that discussion of where we want to go. Usually it's between either two ways or Exhibit 10s. This past Summer League, it was between Memphis and Olimpia Milano, which that's a historic franchise in Europe, and it's a team that I would have been very happy to play for. The head coach was awesome, and I know a number of people that have played for that team. I think European basketball is beautiful as well. And I think we would have probably been happy, and it's interesting how things work out, because you can look back and it's like, who knows what would have happened. But we're grateful that it worked out how it did, and we're grateful for having lived in Memphis too. I know, honestly, a lot of people have said a lot of different things about Memphis, and while I'm happy to be here, I am really going to miss living in Memphis. It's a great city, and I think people have been saying a lot of bad stuff about it, and I'm really it does bother me because I love it there, and I'm really grateful for my time there.
I know you guys got to go down to Orlando, and you've got to work with the rest of the centers so far. What are you expecting from this competition? What's it been like to work with these guys, and what do you kind of think you all sort of bring to the table as a group of centers?
I think it's great having centers that all do different things, because that way we just have options. I don't think it's ever a bad thing to have options. And I'm on top of that, I'm a big fan of all of those guys. You know, James and I have been playing against each other in the G League and in the NBA for years. So when the first day when I got here, I was like, finally, we're not opponents anymore, because he's really good player. And it's exciting. You know, we're all making each other better, competing every day, and I'm excited.
Hey, Jeff, French journalist. You talked about Europe. Have you had the chance to visit some countries, watch some EuroLeague games? Do you watch them like on TV?
Yeah. So I watched this past summer, I believe it was in June, right? The EuroLeague final. I watched that with a friend of mine in Memphis who's from Serbia. And it was really fun to watch. It was super competitive. And it was just really fun to watch. And then this summer I got to go to Europe with my wife. We went to France and Spain. And I got to, play and practice in some gyms over there. And it's awesome.
How did you enjoy France?
Loved it. We went to Paris for a few days, and then we went to Antibes. And oh my goodness, it's beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm just curious, when you got to the restaurant and told your family you'd been traded, what was the reaction there?
Well, news travels very fast. As soon as I hung up the phone after the fact, I believe it hit Twitter, and my dad got the notification, because that was the first thing my wife and I were trying to decide. Do we go to dinner? Do we tell them at dinner? And then we look at our phones, and my friends are already texting me. I'm like, oh, okay, so they're going to know. So it was more so just showing up and like, hey, guys, like, what's up? Like, what have you guys been up to? And they're like, you're moving again.
So much is said around here about the team's culture. Have you been around the guys enough yet to get a feel for that? Is it any different here than other places?
It's different, I think. And this is something that I could see from afar. Like I said earlier, like during the playoff run, it felt like an honor thing. And that's not to say that that's not, it's not the case everywhere, but it's not the case everywhere. And it certainly seems more prominent here. Like people always say it's different in Indiana. I think that's something that that we're going to continue to take pride in, and I'm excited to be a part of.
Last year in Memphis, obviously, Zach Edey, Jaren Jackson Jr. both have connections to Indiana. Have you talked to them at all about the city, and maybe did you learn anything from them last year to kind of help improve your game?
Well, I learned a lesson about Purdue basketball back in college when we got smacked around a little bit when we came and played here. But from those guys, yeah, just hearing about how seriously the fans take it, which is a great thing. I think that's exciting to know that we're going to play in a place like that. They just love good basketball, and I like to think that I play good basketball. So,
Jarace, I've heard from many players before talk about how they think they get it when they go into their second season, but they really don't, and they really actually do going into their third year. I'm curious how you feel about where you are in the NBA and that kind of season-by-season approach. Even Ty said that happened to him.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for sure. Yeah, that was a good description. Like you think you get it, and then you go through the season, and then yeah, hopefully third time's a charm. So, I mean, I've been learning a lot through the first two seasons, so I feel like I'll be ready to go.
Ankle's good?
Yes, sir.
What to you is going to be important for your skill development this year? I think the front office said like one or two things, getting them just banged down would be great for you. What have you kind of been working on this summer in that regard?
I would say conditioning first, just being in the best shape, just being able to outlast my opponents, be ready for anything. But in terms of skill, I would feel like the main thing that's going to contribute is just defense, running, and rebounding. I feel like the skill and like the offense will kind of take care of itself. So I've been just trying to focus on other areas that will help the team and help us win.
No, one thing I think Chad mentioned earlier in the season is wanted to see just overall more aggression from you on both ends of the floor. How have you kind of taken that message into account? How has that been gotten across to you, I guess, by the coaching staff, and what have you tried to do to kind of, I guess, create that?
Yeah, just not second guessing myself, not playing out there to not make mistakes, but just play my game and have fun and just be assertive. I feel like just asserting myself and just playing my game, everything else will follow through in terms of just being aggressive and making an impact.
Where do you feel like you've made strides on the biggest end defensively? Where do you feel like you've gotten better, and where do you feel like you still need to get better?
I would say I definitely got better with the gambles, just reaching out of passing lanes, reaching out of plays. I feel like I've done a better job at staying solid, staying in between my man and the ball. And I feel like I always just work on just being in the right spots off ball, always being a help, always being conscious of, even if my man doesn't have the ball, it's still a job that needs to be done.
How do you feel like you've sort of formed an offensive identity? Obviously, there's a lot of things that you can do between handling the ball, and certainly your shooting's gotten a lot better. How have you gotten a sense of what your role is or should be with this group, and how you should be functioning with all the options that you have?
It's really just being able to be versatile. I feel like every game's going to bring something different in terms of who's going, who's hot, what the team needs. So I feel like it's just really just reading the game, reading what I have to do out there to help the team win, and then just take it on from there.
Seen some videos of you working with Pascal again this summer. What's the biggest takeaway you're taking from him?
I would just say the work ethic and the time that you need to put in to be great. He's going on year, my guess would be like 8, 9. He's kind of old, right? Is he old? Don't tell him. Don't tell him, Joe. But just being a real vet, teaching me just the work ethic, everything that it takes to last in this league, to make an impact, but also be ready. Be ready for a big year. Be ready to help impact winning and just do what the team needs.
Last year's run to the finals, was there anything that you felt like you learned from this playoff experience for you?
Just the attention to detail that each game, each possession takes, each timeout. I feel like once it gets to that point, it's really just about limited mistakes and just being all about the team rather than by yourself. Because during the season, like, you have time to pout and, oh, I need more minutes, I need this, I'm not getting enough shots. But once you get to the playoffs and the finals, it's just team, whatever you need to do to win.
Was there anything in specific you did this offseason to try to get better at for this upcoming year?
I would say just expanding my horizon on just work. I've been doing some boxing, some pool workouts, a lot of different things just to keep my mind and body sharp and ready for the season.
Some guys have been asked who's shown the most improvement or stood out in the times you've been together so far. Your name has come up. Anyone else that you've been impressed by so far?
Definitely James Wiseman, and Zeke too. Just coming off big injuries from both of them, just to see their explosiveness, their conditioning, how their body looks like. They've been looking and playing real good so far. So I'm definitely happy for them.
I got more. I was intrigued by the boxing thing you mentioned there. How did you get involved in that? I guess where are you doing that, and what value you think you got out of it so far?
How I got into it. I think it was my agent or my trainer just hit me up about the idea, and I mean, I'm always down to learn something new, try something new, and then I actually did it, and then it's real good conditioning. So I feel like that's kind of why I mostly do it. And then it works in your arms, just keeping your arms up, shoulders. It works a lot of muscles that you don't normally work out, and then it's less on the body than a weight room workout. You're squatting 350 pounds and doing all that. So it's definitely a great way to stay in shape, but also stay in the gym and just keep working on your conditioning.
So do you have like a trainer? Where are you doing that? Basically, is that like?
Yeah. It was mostly in Houston. I have a trainer out there. Yeah, mostly in Houston during the off season. Maybe like once, 2 times a week, just to stay in shape, keep working on myself, my hits, my boxes, all that.
I want to go back to, he asked a little bit about Pascal. I mean, like some of the stuff he's posted, it's very detailed as far as offensive moves in terms of how to get to a shot, stuff like that. How do you think he's helped you grow as just sort of a one-on-one player in terms of getting buckets? I mean, like what are some things that you picked up or moves that you picked up that you didn't know or didn't even think of before you worked with Pascal?
I would just say that quick first step that he has. Whenever he puts the ball on the floor, he's going somewhere. Like he's not catching it and dribbling in the same spot, sizing up his defender. He's very, very to the point with his moves. So I feel like if I could learn that, kind of take that from him, and then implement my own game into it, it could really be effective.
What'd you get out of the Charleston trip with all those guys?
Yeah, that was a fun trip. Just being able to be around those guys, connect, just grow as a team, grow our chemistry. We got in shape, got up a lot of shots, worked on our game. So I feel like overall it was a great team bonding trip just to get ready for the season, but we definitely got some great work in as well.
Hey, French journalist. I wonder what you like. How did you enjoy the NBA Paris game, and what stood out about you about France to you?
That was one of like the best things I've had, experiences I've had in the league. Just traveling out there with the team, long flight, but it was beautiful. Paris, France, the people are awesome, great food. So I feel like all in all, it was a great trip. Great trip.
Isaiah, we haven't talked to you in a long time. Where are you at with your recovery? Do you expect to be ready start of camp, and how do you anticipate the injury, if at all, lingering into the season?
I think I'm close to 100% right now. Looking forward to training camp. I'm full go right now, so ready to go.
Part of what makes you the player you are is your athleticism. Do you feel the same in that regard as you were pre-injury?
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm hard on myself a lot. Sometimes I have those days where I don't feel bouncy, but I think it's still there. And guys tell me all the time on the team that it's still there, so I didn't look like I didn't lose anything, so it sort of gives me confidence.
Johnny, a lot of your teammates have mentioned you and asked about who's standing out to them in these summer runs. How do you feel differently compared to last year? Do you feel like you're playing, in your eyes, more effectively than you were at this time last year?
I'm feeling, I'd say, more comfortable. Feeling more comfortable in my body, being able to kind of absorb contacts, use my body a little bit better. But yeah, I think I'm excited for this year. It's nice kind of knowing what to expect going into my second year, so feeling more comfortable.
How has that understanding made a difference so far? Even just in the stuff down in Orlando, how do you go when you have a better idea of what you need to work on and what's going to be expected? How does that kind of translate?
So I kind of know where my biggest areas for improvement are. I think I'm a long way from where I'm going to be and where I need to be, but I think I'm trending in the right direction. I just got to keep working every day, and hopefully we'll see results.
What do you think your biggest areas of improvement have to be? What stood out to you?
There's a lot. I feel like just being as consistent as possible with shooting. I got to be able to make open shots all the time. So that's the biggest thing, and then obviously defense. I think defense is going to help me get some opportunity.
Isaiah, how did the whole rehab process kind of allow you to transform physically? You were able to put on a lot of weight, upper body, and muscle and stuff like that. What was that like? How have you kind of maximized that, I guess, and how have you changed physically over the course of the total rehab?
The rehab process was up and down, but like you said, I sort of used it as opportunity to work on my body. I gained 15 pounds over the course of. I actually gained more, but I lost it. Got it down to I'm like 240 right now, like perfect playing weight for me. Feel good. Body feels good. I feel like I can handle the weight real well too. I think it's gonna be fun to see how it translates in the game, which I have full confidence it will, based off how I've been playing during the summer and stuff with the guys. So, yeah.
Just, I guess, tell me a little bit more about that. What can you tell so far? What do you notice, both as far as being able to kind of hold your position, I guess, inside, and it's like, how do you feel as far as carrying it? Do you feel like it slowed you down at all, or?
No, I don't feel like it's slowing me down at all. I feel like the work that I put in, it's sort of muscle, so it's easier to just move around and stuff. It's easier to box out, guard people, hold my position. I can just lean on people now and not have to fight and tussle and stuff. So it makes it a little easier.
Obviously it's a pretty wide open center position. You guys got 4 guys, and Rick said he considered it completely wide open. How do you view the strengths and weaknesses of this group? Basically, what do you think this whole situation is? Certainly going to be different than what you're used to, having Miles had been here this whole time. What do you just expect from this experience and this group of guys, and what's going to be like?
I feel like it's going to be real competitive. I feel like everybody, like all the bigs, we bring a different aspect to the game, and we can grow. I feel like that's in that sense, we can sort of use each other to, get better, iron sharpens iron type of thing. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun training camp. And, yeah.
Isaiah, Coach said you've been running with the starting five in some of your guys' pickup games before the camp starts.
Yep.
What do you think about your skill set and how it fits with that starting five?
I feel like it fits real well. Just the pace that we play with. I feel like I'm a very just up and down type of guy. I can run the floor and space out and stuff. And it's fun playing with the starting lineup. It's fun playing with all the guys really. So, but yeah, it's enjoyable.
Johnny, how glad are you to be done with rookie duties?
It's nice. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm still a rookie till the first game of regular season, so I've been told. But yeah, it should be nice heading into the year with a little less off my plate.
Isaiah, what did you think of first dunk in summer league?
It was amazing. I watched it probably like 5-6 times. It was impressive. I ain't gonna lie, it was very impressive.
Thanks, bro. Thank you.
Johnny, last finals had 9 international players. What does this internationalization of the game mean to you and maybe to kids back home?
Yeah, it's big. I think it's pretty cool to be a part of it. I think it's the most international players we've ever had in the league right now, so it's pretty cool to be a part of it, and I think it's just going to keep on growing.
And what did you enjoy the most about NBA Paris game?
Yeah, that was awesome. I think, I think that's going to be something I remember for a long time. Like it's my first few months in the NBA, so I didn't have anything to compare it to. But I think that's going to be one of those trips where will be a highlight. It was awesome.
Did you have rookie duties in Paris? I didn't even think about that.
No, I don't think maybe a few little things, but no. Yeah, probably. Yeah, some crepes and stuff. Yeah.